Hey guys, so I'm uploading or like editing the video right now and it's really long, so just like a forewarning. I talk a lot, go into detail, pretty much like a lot of detail about how my life and like the things in my life led me to doing what I'm doing. So that's the question that I got the most and the thing that people seem to be most interested in. So just stick through it, watch it. Towards the end I talk about, making time. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching this video because it's kind of ridiculous. So grab like some wine or something and like chill out because it's gonna be a long one. Hello everyone. I asked my friends and my family what kind of video they wanted to see that was like health and fitness related, and I got two different suggestions. I'll probably kind of mesh them both into this video. But the main thing is going to be like my journey, just kind of talk to you guys about like what got me started and how I got into like wanting to be in the fitness industry. And it's probably going to be pretty long because there's not really any one thing that led me to this. I really do think that it was everything that I've done in my life and everything that's like I've done up until this point that has led me to do this. First thing first is when I was like 3, I started playing soccer up until I was 17. So that's 14 years straight of playing soccer. So I was always really athletic, really healthy. I loved it, and I thought for the longest time, like the entire time I was growing up, that I was really going to be like a professional soccer player, and that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want anything else. And then in high school, I kind of just got bored, I think. Now looking back on it, I thought I was just like this party kid, and I didn't want to go to school, and I did all the things, you skip class and, all the bad things. And I eventually moved out of my hometown, up to Bonners Ferry, lived there for a couple of months, and the school in Bonners Ferry is horrible. It's like this teeny tiny little high school where, like, if you know my family and my background on my dad's side, our family isn't really looked upon very well up there, just because everyone on that side of my family, like my dad especially, has had a lot of trouble with the law, and it's such a small town. It's like 5 minutes from one end to the other. Like, you can't really do anything. So with me having the last name that I have, living there was really hard. Going to school there was really hard. The first day I went to school, I got called into the principal's office, and he told me that he was going to be watching me, and then called me by my last name. And 2 weeks after that, I dropped out of school and didn't go back because it was horrible. And I made friends there and everything, but that kind of upset everything that I was doing with my life. I had quit soccer at that point by the time I moved. I moved because I was being a bad kid. I was still in school and still doing soccer and stuff, but I just wasn't on the right path, and I wasn't doing the right things in life, and I made bad choices. So my mom and I just agreed that it would be a good idea for me to move up there for a while and try and get out of this city that I was in, which ended up not being the best thing because it was worse up there than it was where I was living before. So I came back home after living in Bonners Ferry for a while, for about 5 months. It was almost 6 months. My fiance now came up and got me, and then we started dating like a week after I moved back, which we had been friends for a couple of years before that. But Dane and I both weren't really into fitness. We were still just like a couple of party kids that didn't really have any plan for life. And then we still did, the party thing. We were being teenagers, being young adults. We were 18. So And then we ended up getting pregnant, and we had our son, who is 3 now, and he's amazing, but at the time we were so young that we didn't see it that way. We saw it as, oh shit, we better get our stuff together, we better find a place to live, get a good job, get a car. And it was stressful. Like, we were very happy about having a baby, but it was really hard. And after being pregnant, Dane really got into working out while I was pregnant. I think it was kind of like an escape for him, like a safe place, like his comfortable place, because we were still, like I said, we were kids, we were scared, we were stressed out. So he started working out. And keep in mind, Dane used to be like not small, but he was like an average sized guy. Like, he didn't work out, he wasn't like really athletic or like muscular or anything. He was just a normal looking guy. And so was I, because I hadn't been doing anything athletic for like a year before that. I had quit soccer a year before that. And we had Emmett, and Dane worked out the entire time I was pregnant. After we had him, I didn't realize while I was pregnant how much I had let myself go. And I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to like let go and just be happy being pregnant, because it is, and you should be able to enjoy that. But I, being the kind of person that I am, being so athletic and so fit for my entire life, like, I have stretch marks on the inside of my thighs because by the time I was like 12, 13 years old, my legs were twice the size as everyone else's. I had insane muscle in my legs that grew way too fast because I played so much. I played 4 seasons all year round, indoor, outdoor, summer camps, everything you can think of. I worked out at home and did all these things that the kids my age weren't doing. And then when I got into high school, I kind of stopped doing all of that. But the reason I got so self-conscious after I was pregnant is because I didn't recognize my body anymore. I didn't see myself as myself anymore. I didn't really see any part of me left over from before. It was all new. It was all different. Everything looked different. Everything felt different. And I wasn't happy with it. And for a while I was depressed. I had this amazingly cute baby that I would wake up with super early in the morning and watch him just wake up and smile and look around even though they can't see a foot in front of their face. It was just the best thing to me. But then he would go to sleep and I would get really depressed again. And then he would wake up and I'd be fine, and he'd go to sleep and I'd go look in the mirror and get depressed again. And I tried working out right when I was able to. So about 6 months after I had him, I went to the gym a couple of times and I just was not comfortable. And I also have anxiety, and I didn't know, now that I know how it feels, I did have it in high school. I was just unaware of it, and it was a different level of anxiety that I had in school. In school, it was never social anxiety. I thrived in social situations in high school. But as I was pregnant and I didn't hang out with all my friends anymore, it was kind of just me and Dane and my family, and trying to figure everything out and trying to grow up and move past all the things that we were doing. And so I had developed this social anxiety that I had never had before. So going to the gym was pure torture. I couldn't do anything. I was shaking, I was sweating, and not from working out. And it was like I was terrified to be in there. So I quit, and then about a year later, we moved a bunch. We moved to North Dakota, back to Coeur d'Alene, to Post Falls, to Rathdrum, to Spokane, back to Coeur d'Alene, and then back to Spokane again by the time Emmett was 2 years old. So that was an entire year of moving and doing a lot of stuff, so I wasn't active at all. And when we lived in North Dakota, I tried. I went to the gym a couple of times. I did yoga once, I think, and with my best friend's mom. And I still couldn't really get into it. So I stopped going again. And then when we moved to Spokane, Dane got a job. He runs a multi-million-dollar fitness company, or fitness club, one of them. There's 4 in Spokane. He runs one, the Move Fitness, but he started running the gym and working out more and more and more. And if you know Dane, like at this point, he's huge. Like he's been working out consistently for, there's an airplane. He's been working out consistently for like 4 years now. Yeah, about 4 years, because he started working out a little bit like right when I got pregnant with Emmett, and he just turned 3. So he's stuck with it for 4 years, going 5 to 7 days a week and going for an hour every time, and like getting his workouts in and being really good about eating, and he doesn't drink and he doesn't do any like thing that would interfere with his body. But I couldn't get into it. I tried and tried and tried, and I really, really wanted to, because I saw all these people on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all these people that I followed that just looked amazing, and some of them with kids, and I just couldn't understand why I would go every day for an entire month and then either see nothing and quit, or I would see a little bit of something and then I would quit again and be like, hey, I'm fine. Because my anxiety was so bad that that's all I could handle. I couldn't handle going for really long periods of time. And then about 8 months ago, I think, I discovered going late at night. We moved in here, it was almost a year ago. So almost a year ago, I decided to go one night at like 10 o'clock at night, and the gym was empty, and I realized how much I loved it. And there was only like 4 or 5 people in there. It's never empty. Even when it's like closing or 5 minutes past close, there's still like 2 people in there. The light is getting weird. But I really still, like, I loved going late at night because it was easier. There's not as much people, it's not as crowded, it's not as loud, and there's not so much going on where you're hearing like weights slamming and people talking and like all the background noise and the chatter and everything that sets off someone with social anxiety. Or like it feels like people are staring at you, and even though they're not, and probably maybe one person like glances at you every 10 minutes and they're all different people, but it feels like every single person in the gym is just staring straight at you. So you feel like you're gonna have a panic attack and an anxiety attack, and you just want to leave. So working out at night changed that for me. It was still a little bit difficult because there were still people there, so I ended up just buying a pair of Beats, like noise canceling headphones that were really, really loud. That I tried doing that. I used Dane's first, and then I bought my own pair because it changed everything for me. Having like loud music that I wanted to hear, that I chose to listen to, that blocked out all the background noise, made like a world of difference. And I didn't have to be scared to go anymore. I know it seems weird, but anxiety is weird. There's nothing about it that's like normal, that's the same for everyone. I don't know how to explain it any better. I've tried to explain my anxiety to so many people, and you just can't really. It's like having another person inside your head that wants something completely different, or like, you know that there's no reason to be afraid. Like, these people aren't judging you, no one cares, no one's looking at you, but your insides feel completely different than what you're thinking. Like, your body and your brain have a completely different idea of what's going on than your actual self. So the headphones helped a ton with that, with helping me kind of separate like what was going to set me off and what wasn't. And I started working out more and more often. I went for like a solid month and then decided like, okay, I can do this. I can really, really do this. And about 3 months in, I realized that I feel so much better. And I know that it might not work for everyone, because everyone has their vices, everyone has different things that bug them, that hurt them, that they do that hurts them, that they can't handle, and their anxiety works differently, or their brain works differently. You're self-conscious, and you're self-conscious about different things than everyone else. Everyone is different 100%. No one is the same. So what works for me might not work for you, but I encourage you to try, because after that 3 months of me working out, I realized my anxiety is so much better. I don't have panic attacks at the grocery store walking up and down the aisles anymore. I can go to Target by myself and feel okay. Like, Emmett was my security blanket for a while because he's an icebreaker. So if someone tries to start a conversation with me, it redirects to him, and I don't have to talk about myself or like to that person. Emmett will just do it, and I can kind of just awkwardly laugh and like look away. But the gym, like working out and getting my endorphins going and having that adrenaline dump and like everything that goes in, that you get back from working out and that you put into working out, really does make a huge difference when you have something like anxiety or insecurities. And not only is my body looking better, but I feel so much better. Like, my confidence is just amazing. Like, I'm still not this like overly confident person that's gonna like walk around in my bikini 24/7, but I mean, there's some people like that, but not a lot. But I really do think that finding a way to make time for the gym is important for a lot of different people, for a lot of different reasons. Whether you're suffering from anxiety, or you're extremely self-conscious, or you have confidence issues, or maybe you're sick all the time, like you just don't feel good. Putting good things into your body and exercising and doing things like that are really, really going to make a difference, and they're really going to help. So another question that someone asked was, how do you make time to work out? And that goes back to when I used to try and work out in the middle of the day, and I would have to put my son in Kid Zone, and that made me anxious too, because I get terrified when other people are in control of him. Like, it's like putting the life of your child into another person's hands, and that's scary for me because I'm 21, I'm still really young, I have one kid, and I only plan on having one kid. So this is it. This is my one chance, like my one person that I'm going to be taking care of for the rest of his life, or for the rest of my life. So I don't like dropping him off with people. And I mean, I don't have a job either, so I am a stay-at-home mom. And so for the mothers out there who do have a job and you work, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, because you're going to have someone, I mean, either way, you have to have someone who's willing to help you. But if you're, say, a single mom and you work and your kid is in daycare while you're at work, and then you come home and that's the only time you have is the rest of the night or the morning, or whatever your shift is the time that you're home with your kid is the only time that you have, it's going to be harder. So talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to someone who you know will be willing to help you, who wants to see you do better, who wants to see you get healthier. And I talked about this before, and for some reason, going to the gym and working out is seen as less of a good thing than like getting your like mom time out at the bar, getting shit-faced with your friends. Like, people are more willing to watch your kids so you can get drunk than they are to watch your kids so you can go to the gym. Don't ask me why, because it doesn't make any sense, but that's just how it is. I think people think that the gym is like some superficial thing that like, oh, you just want to look better, and like, I don't know. I like I said, I don't understand it. I don't know how any of it works. Hi. Hi. All right. So, continuing on the topic of making time. I told Emmett when he woke up from his nap that he could have ice cream. So, that's what that was. But I was saying that people are more willing to watch your kids so you can get drunk than they are to watch your kids while you're at the gym. Doesn't make sense, but that's the way it works. So for me, I got lucky, and all of my friends, because the people that we surround ourselves with now are the people who have the same mentality that we do. One of my best friends, Trishelle, is really into working out. I don't think she's as like into the whole like sharing it aspect as I am, but her and her boyfriend and Dane and I are all really close. They work out together, we work out together sometimes. I usually go way later than she does, but the point being that you have to find friends and find people who are willing to do the same thing as you. And I know for a lot of the girls who I know personally, I've seen all of you guys post on different occasions where you're looking for someone to work out with because you don't want to do it by yourself. You need a gym buddy, and then someone else will post the same thing like a day or two later, and you're all in the same city. Like, I'm 40 minutes away, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to come hang out and like work out with you guys, and I have Emmett too. But there are people around you who are looking for the same thing, and I've made friends through the gym that I probably wouldn't have met outside otherwise. I have a friend now who Dane introduced me to at the gym, and it's a little bit more difficult to find friends that way than it would be like at the bar or, you know, at a party or something, but you can, it's possible. And then I'm sure there are people in your family. The health and fitness industry is growing so much, and so many more people are getting into it than ever before. It's huge now. People are trying to be healthy. People want to lift. They want to look amazing. They want to feel amazing. So I guarantee you that you know people who want to do the same thing as you. You guys just don't talk about it. So talk about it to your friends, to your family. Find someone who's willing to do it with you. Find someone who's willing to watch your kids for an hour later in the afternoon or really early in the morning. You can make time. And if you can't get to the gym, you can run outside. You can, which, I mean, cardio is cardio. It's good. It's just not the same. I've never gotten the same benefit from cardio as I have from lifting. Like, my body never looked as good when I was just running as it does now that I'm lifting. And I never felt as good when I was running as I do when I'm lifting. But it could be different for you. Cardio could totally be your thing, and that could be like the thing you love. It just didn't work for me. But try it. Try everything. There's home workout videos. There are thousands of home workout videos on YouTube, and diet tip videos, and all these things. You have to be willing to take the time to do research and to find the things that you are interested in and want to do, because the internet is a huge place. It's this just giant blob of information that you can get anything you're curious about from. Just Google everything, because that's what I do. If I have a question, if I need to look up something about form or something about diet, or like I'm interested in learning about caloric deficits or like macro tracking and things like that, I just look online, or I ask my friends who are, you know, more knowledgeable in the subject than I am. But most of the time, I just look on Google or on YouTube. Like, every time I do yoga at home in my bedroom, watching it from my computer. Like, you have time. It might not seem like it, and it might seem really hard, and there are going to be days when you're trying and your kids get in the way, or you're stressed out and something falls and it just throws you off the edge, and you just get angry and you think, like, I can't do this. But you have to really just push through all of the doubts that you have on yourself, and all the doubts you have that you don't have time, because I promise you do. You just have to make time. You have to make yourself do it. You have to put the effort in to learn and to explore and to do things that you wouldn't do on your own normally. And it's going to feel weird for a while. It's going to feel uncomfortable doing certain exercises and certain lifting techniques, and yoga is the most uncomfortable thing in the world until you get used to it. So my advice is to just practice, focus on what you want. If you really, really want this, and you really want to be healthy, you really want to look amazing, you want to do things that you wouldn't normally do, because I have a ton of people say they want to work out and they want to do all these things, but they just don't know how to start. So this is how. You just have to be willing to do it. So this is a really long video, and I don't know how many of you are actually going to get all the way through it, but if you did, thank you. It really is the best thing that I've ever chosen to do in my life, and I'm going to make a career out of it. Watch me, because I don't see myself doing anything else. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope some of you learned something from this and can maybe take some motivation from it. And yeah, just push yourselves, try, and you can do it. Okay, bye guys.